Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica for Plaid Day.
Apparently so. Okay, so this is a series, book series for you guys to binge, and we figured we would do it because it's the fall and it's gonna get colder outside. Hence the plaid. I mean, it's
Mine's
time.
short sleeve plaid though.
No, I've got mine rolled up, but yeah. So you can read this during the fall and into the winter because you'll be binging these.
Yes.
Yeah, they will consume you. So, okay. Before we start that, though,
make sure you hit that subscribe button. We love to give away free books.
Yes, we do. Okay, so let's talk about these books that we got here for them. I lost my journal. It got tucked under some books. There's quite a few floating around here. So, are you ready? Because I'm not. I feel like I'm not. I am.
You've been rushing me all morning.
No, I'm good. I just had to flip to the right page. Okay. So the first book series that I have is the Broken World series, and this is by Kate L. Mary. I read this one earlier this summer, or later in the summer. It was like back in August, and it consumed me for days. There's, I believe, 7 books in this series, and then there's a couple more, like there's spin-offs. There's all sorts of stuff going on here. So this is a post-apocalyptic zombie story. It follows Vivian, and I thought they would. We were talking about whether these were all standalones or not. This is the only one that is a continuing story that I have here. And Vivian gets picked up because her car breaks down. People have been getting sick, and when you get sick, you pretty much die once you get it. She's traveling from the East Coast or Midwest to California because she has a child that she gave up for adoption when she was 16, and she really wants to see her daughter before everybody in the world dies. And so on her way there, she her car breaks down. You have to have specific papers. You have to have been like screened to get across because there are martial laws happening. So to get, if you're traveling, you have to have the right papers. And these 2 brothers pick her up, and that is where she meets Axel. And she and Axel and his brother, and they meet people along the way. They go on this journey that just spans across the nation, and nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. There's a lot of zombies, and a lot of things happen, and it is so good. It will consume you. There's audio for all of them, but it will consume you, just to let you know.
Okay.
What's your first one?
My first one is Ashes and Embers by Carrie Ann Cole. This is the whole series right here. These are my babies.
Uh-huh.
Love them. Okay. The whole series is phenomenal. And also, just a side note, Torn and Tide also go with this series. And even in Don't Kiss the Bride, there's a reference to Ashes and Embers in that. So kind of all over there. But this series, it can be read as a standalone, but I think if you read it from first book to end book, you get the whole like story better because there is stuff going on with Asher, and we find his story is the last one in this series. As of right now, I've heard that she was going to add on to this one, but I don't know if that's really going to happen. So Ashes and Embers, they're a rock band. And so each book follows a different member in the band, except for Storm, who has 2 books in this series. And so, I mean, we said we weren't going to talk about each individual book. So what else do I say? We have, in one of them, we have Stranded. We have a really broken hero who is really kind of messed up and hard to love at times.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like. We have Amnesia. What else do we have? Oh, we have Reverse Age Gap with like a cinnamon roll hero. And we have one of my favorites because it's just so different. In Talon, we have a reality type show. Not really, it's not a show. It's like a reality type dating situation
it's like the TV show Are You the One, where they get married and then they
never watched that. But they have to fill out these like surveys, and then they're paired with who's supposed to be their perfect match based on some psychologists. And both of them are like, wait, we got the polar opposite of what we asked for, but they're required to stay married for 1 year as part of it.
Mhm.
Fantastic. So there's just lots of different tropes throughout the series.
Yep.
I loved it.
Yep. That is exactly what that show is, by the way. I think they have to stay married for 4 to 6 months. I can't remember what it is, but the psychologists check in with them.
I've never watched it.
Yeah.
Also important to know, even though they're part of a rock band, that is really not the main catalyst of any of the books. It really focuses on each individual band member's like personal life heavily.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So the next series that I have is going to be hard to talk about, especially every individual books, because there's, as of today, there's 24 books in the series. So this is the
binge away, people.
Yeah, binge away. But they all can be read as standalones, with the exception, I think it's books 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. One of the first 2 are a continuation between the 2, but the rest of them are all standalones. And that is the Coveted Prey series by L.V. Lane. I actually have one of them right here. So each one is different. All of these are fantasy paranormal. And they they're all Omegaverse, and each story is different. It's set in this fantasy world, and by fantasy I mean like there's kings and queens and princesses and the whole nine, but there's also shifters, and there's centaurs, and there's princes, and there's kings, and it just, every single one is so different. Every single one is a wild ride. Every single one is an Omegaverse of some way, shape, or form, because sometimes they're not like alphas and omegas. It's like a beta and alpha pack, and some are reverse harem, some are male female. It really gives you a little bit of everything, because you can start at the beginning and just keep going and going and going, and you're not going to get tired of it. You're going to find something new in each and every book. And there's something for everyone in that series. So, like I said, right now, 24 books. She's still writing in that series. So you never know what you're going to get. All right. So what's your next series?
My next series is the Honey Mountain series by Laura Pavlov.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So there's 5 books in this series, and this follows, it all centers around the fire department. And so we have the chief, and we have his daughters, and then we have firefighters. And what else do I say about it, Jessica? So in this series, we have small town, we have the firefighters, we have the daughters, we have ex-Navy SEAL, we have hockey, we have Armani business suits. This series has it all. So we also have nanny and firefighter. So I love this series. All 5 books are fantastic. We start off with best friends who've been best friends since they were little, and all of a sudden she starts looking at him a little differently.
Okay.
And we have best friend's older brother. So all the tropes are happening in this small town. And did I mention that we have firefighters? So good. Really love this series. All of them have like a unique feel to them, so it doesn't feel redundant, which sometimes can happen in a series. You feel like the author's just trying to check off different tropes to get through the series. That does not happen in this. They're all very, very different, but still centered around kind of that same small town feel. Love this series. Highly. I just muted myself.
You did.
Jeez, I'm a mess.
Okay. So my next series is one that I absolutely love, and it got us a new couple of friends out of the series, and that is BJ Alpha Secrets and Lies. Love this series so much. Love BJ and Kate as well. So I'm just going to hold up one of these books. They start with Cal is the first one. There's 5 books in the series. Finn is my favorite. So we're just going to hold Finn up because he's worth looking at. So this is about 5 brothers who belong to the Irish mafia. And it starts out with Cal's book. This is a second chance romance secret baby. And then you have, there's a lot of second chance romances in here. There's a lot of surprise pregnancy, secret baby, surprise baby situation going on. There's a lot of breeding going on in these. Like it's a thing. There is a continuing story through the whole thing. I would suggest reading them from the beginning. You can read them as standalones, but you're going to get more enjoyment if you read them from the beginning. There are a few novellas that go along. So right now there's 5 books in the series that are like actual full-length books, and then there are a few novellas as well sprinkled in there. So love this series. This is what started the whole BJ Alpha situation, and then we met her and got to hang out with her and love her to death. So go read it. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What you
All
got
right,
next?
my next series is the Becker Brothers series by Candy Steiner. This is a 4-book series, and while they can all be read in standalones, there's kind of like a mystery going on that gets resolved in the final book. So I would recommend starting with book 1 because this is a video about series to binge, right? So each book has like a hard alcohol themed name, like On the Rocks, Neat, Manhattan, Old Fashioned. I named them all for you there. So this focuses on these 4 brothers who have grown up in this small town, and there's a distillery that is there. And there was a fire that killed their dad, but they believe that there's more to it. They don't believe that it was just a random fire that killed their dad. So they're working on trying to figure this out now that they're adults about exactly what went down. So in this, we have the first book starts off with the mayor's daughter is getting married, and it's kind of, it's not an arranged marriage, but it's basically like this is a good match. He's from a good family. You should be dating him. You should be marrying him. Like very controlled situation from her parents' view. When she starts to realize that she has a crush on one of the Becker brothers, and he's the guy that she was always told to stay away from. And that kind of starts off our series. It's really, really good. And we have like a lot of angst. We have a lot of heartbreak in this series. And again, the whole mystery surrounding their father's death and how that's impacted all of them.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay. My next series has been pretty popular in the TikTok circuit, just in general, because when we met, like this author was in Vegas last year and we didn't even jump into her line because it was so long, even with the tickets, like a ticketed author. We were like, want to meet her, but I'm not standing in that. But she was gracious and stayed for hours afterwards because her line was so long. And that is Chantal Tessier and her Lords series. Now, all of these books are nice and thick, but they start with The Ritual. And this is about a bunch of kids at Barrington University. So this is secret society. Everybody's over the top possessive. The guys are crazy. Relationships tend to be forced in certain situations. But basically, it's about these kids who are seniors at Barrington University, and they belong to the secret society that their parents belong to, and everybody before them. And these are the elites that run the world. And you, if you're a daughter of one of these guys, and you're attending this college, when you're a senior, you are given as a lady to one of these lords, and you have to be in a relationship with them for a year, and they get to do whatever they want to you, and you don't get to say no. And then after that, you marry a lord, but it's probably a different lord than the one that you were with during that time. And then you have this elite marriage, and it's a whole thing. So there's a lot of secret society. There's a lot of rules. I absolutely love Carnage. There's 5 books in the series right now. The 5th book just came out, but there's more to come. Love it so much. It's the dark, disturbed. They're all like thick books. Her audios for all of them are amazing. So if you're in the mood for dark, this is going to keep you entertained for a while because this is just 2 of the books. So just saying. Mm-hmm. All right. What else you got?
Okay. I have The Nashville Neighborhood by Nikki Sloan.
Yes.
I love this one.
Yes.
So I have 3 of the books, but it is a current 5-book series, and she just announced the 6th book is coming out called The Broker in January. So this is the perfect time to get caught up on the Nashville Neighborhood in time for that release. So if you've been on our channel for a hot minute or 2, you've probably heard me talk about the pool boy. I love him so much. So the Nashville Neighborhood is just completely wild. We start off with the doctor, which is sort of kind of has birthday girl vibes, where it's the boyfriend is not really that into maintaining a relationship, plays video games a lot, that sort of thing. And she starts to fall for his dad. And that is the premise of that book. Then we move in to some of the other books, like we have the the pool boy. If you haven't heard me talk about it, we have reverse harem. Oh my God.
Nope.
Reverse age gap. Reverse age gap. Love this one. It's my favorite in this series. We have the frat boy, which is just another wild time. We have the good girl, where we get to see the boyfriend from the first book get his happy ending. And we also have the architect, which is just really wild. And if you really want a wild, wild series, like this neighborhood is just nuts. Like they're all amped up and ready to go. And it is just a wild good time, but just know that it is a little over the top. But it's so good. I love it so much.
Okay. All right. So my next series it's different. It's really, really different. But if you're like me and you like a good captor-captive situation, but you kind of want them to be kind of cinnamon rolly at the same time, like this is the series for you. And so this is the Finders Keepers series, and it is by M.L. Marion. As of right now, there's 4 books out in the series, but she's currently writing a 5th, so there's more to come, and I am just dying to get my hands on that. So this one is my favorite one. This is named, but I just want to, so all of these like span over different generations. So the first book is a novella, and it is I think it takes place, it's got to take place like in the 70s or 80s, because it's before there were cell phones, that everybody had cell phones and a lot of technology. But basically, the whole premise of this series is that these men, that they're all from the same family. The way they acquire a wife is they stalk her for just a little while to make sure that she's the one that they want, and then they just take her. And then the family has ties to the local judge, and basically blackmail him into marrying them, whether the girls want to be married or not. And then they get to know each other and move on. So this, like the first one takes place probably, I'd say 70s or 80s. We don't find out for sure. And it is a single dad, and he has his little boy, and his little boy just wants a mom. And so he goes and he acquires her a mom, or acquires him a mom. Then the second book is that boy as he's grown up. He is extremely wealthy, and so it's kind of a billionaire situation, and it's his secretary. The third one is a brother, so it's, again, I think it's more modern times. And then there's this one, which takes us back to the 1800s Wild West, and the heroine is mute. And I'm dying. It sounds like the next one that comes out is also back in time, back in the old West, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm dying for it. So this is a good, these ones aren't too long. They're not too crazy, but they're fun. They're so good. So they just got new covers too, so they look a little different. Mm-hmm. I know, I need therapy. I'm sorry.
Okay. My next, and I guess this is my last series to binge, is The Carmichael Family by Adriana Locke. And this is a 5-book series that follows the 5 Carmichael boys. And their parents play a heavy role in their lives. And they actually all live together on a cul-de-sac. So everybody has their own house, but they all live together in this little cul-de-sac neighborhood. So super fun. There are hilarious times in here. Like the parents actually have a pillow on their couch that says, "We had sex here." I mean, just there's funny things throughout this whole series. We have a backyard hobby like chicken farmer that we end up with, just lots of fun stuff. So this is a really like good, funny read. In it, all the Carmichael boys end up in their relationships not quite on purpose. So we start off where there's a situationship where she just needs somebody to kind of fill a boyfriend type role. Then we have a win a date to my honeymoon, because she's going on her honeymoon and she is not going with the person she was supposed to be marrying. And so her friends put together a win a date for it. We have a fake ex-husband that's needed. And then we have a fake fiance, and then we end with marriage of convenience. So all the Carmichael boys end up in their relationships in unique ways. I just love the series. The family is just, they're very like, I don't know if wholesome is the right word, but it's a family that you would want to be a part of, I guess is a good way to describe that. And there's just a lot of love for each other, a lot of like pranks that they pull, and just really fun stuff. So great series to binge.
Okay. All right, I think we've given you guys enough. I think you should be occupied until Christmas. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, you can read a Captive series, you can read Rockstar, you can read
Dark Secret Society.
yes.
I mean, whatever
Wholesome family, rom-com-y.
Mafia, you know, whatever you're in the mood for, we've got a series here for it. So
in a wild neighborhood that's all about the sex.
Yeah. Or fantasy.
Yeah.
Omega
We brought it. And a mystery. My first series there had that mystery.
Yeah.
I don't think it was my first, but
and
anyway,
mine was post-apocalyptic. So seriously, whatever you're in the mood for.
We are all over the place. So
we got it here. Yeah. So
yes,
all right.
Mark this video. This is your video to come back to when you're in a reading slump. Come back to this video and you should be good to go.
You should be good for a while. So all right, that's it.
Okay, make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us in case this video doesn't keep you occupied until Christmas. And hit that notification button so you don't miss new videos from us.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.